You mentioned Immaculate Conception. I'm going to just briefly just say something quick, and then if you could share with the audience more in depth about Immaculate Conception. But going back to the previous example I gave, where I was talking about how God makes all things new and He undoes all the knots. The way in which the Immaculate Conception really, I guess, the first time I felt like I was entering more deeply into what that meant and why it was so important, was having God come from that seamless cloth. As I was thinking, if He's going to truly make all things new, then He's going to go back to Adam and Eve, and if Eve split out of Adam's side, and she got pulled from the stainless garment of Adam, who was free without sin, then wouldn't He still do that and have the new Adam come from, again, a seamless garment without sin, as a way of truly going back to the beginning? And then again, God being out of space and time, that He could then know that her answer would be yes without infringing upon her free will, and took the grace merited on the cross and gave it to her, because He can do that because He's outside of time. I mean, am I wrong in this? And can you help people try to find a language to understand, A, what it is and why it's important? Because it's not just a title, and it's not just, well, that's a separate thing outside of it. No, it's very important in understanding who she is and why she's important, yes?
Right, absolutely. Yes, this is, I would say, in its most basic sense, that Mary was created full of grace and without sin for two key reasons. Number one, so that she could give to Jesus a nature like our own, which is how we technically define motherhood. When a woman communicates to her offspring a nature identical to her own, she was to be the true mother of God-made man, and God could not unite Himself with sin. Mm-hmm. So it's appropriate that the Immaculate Conception, that Mary would be full of grace, that her human nature would not be stained, so that Jesus would not receive a stained nature in the proper order of mothering. Number two, it's important that this woman that would be the partner of Jesus in the redemption, this new Eve with the new Adam, as we talked about, and the principal thought of the first 4 centuries, that she couldn't be a double agent, Christina. She couldn't be working with Jesus and against Jesus at the same time.
Yeah.
And anybody who sins, like us, we are double agents in a certain sense. While we try to be true, we also fall. But not the perfect partner in the redemption, not the new Eve. So Mary is immaculately conceived. She's conceived without sin and full of grace, both so she can give that identical nature to Jesus, also so she can be the co-redemptrix with the divine Redeemer. That's why John Paul II, before he was elevated to pontiff, and he was a cardinal in Poland on the Feast of the Immaculate Conception in 1973, he said, remember, she's the co-redemptrix first because she is the Immaculate Conception. And that's exactly it. Now, you gave a very nice explanation of what came to be known as preservative redemption. Someone said, well, wait a minute, how can you say that Mary is going to be free from sin if that comes from Jesus and from the cross? It's simple in this sense, that God could give to Mary at the moment of her conception graces from the cross, just because, as you rightly say, God's out of time. God saw what Jesus would do, that He would redeem all humanity, including Mary. He applies those graces, the graces of Jesus, to Mary at the moment of her conception, and that makes her, that enables her to be His perfect partner in redeeming the rest of humanity. So it's God's perfect providence, but always saying we need humans to cooperate with the redemption. A great quote from St. Augustine. He says, God created us without us, but He will not save us without us.
That's beautiful.
And that means, we'll be created, but He's not going to save us without our free will. We have to cooperate. So Mary cooperates first, but that's how Christina, she becomes the model for all of us. That's why John Paul II calls us to be co-redeemers in Christ. We've got to imitate Mary. We've got to cooperate in the redemption of others. And Pope Benedict, last year when we went to Fatima, he said to all the sick at Fatima, he said, you must become redeemers with the Redeemer. Which is a beautiful concept. It means we offer our prayers, our sacrifices, our challenges, even our failures. We offer them in union with Jesus and Mary, and it helps to save souls. We become redeemers, but no one like